recording afterwards. Good morning, everyone. My name is Shafali with Giving DuPage. I'm super excited. We've been hosting these virtual trainings, and somebody used the expression the other day, and I really think it's appropriate. I was talking to someone and she said, well, we're just riding the Corona coaster. And that's kind of how we feel. Like, I feel like we've all been through this roller coaster ride and we don't know where the twists and turns are going to be. But one of the bright spots for me has been hosting these virtual trainings that we're doing. And boy, oh boy, this one got a huge response. We have 100 people registered. And so Denise and I are both a little nervous-sided. We're nervous and excited. It's quite an overwhelming response. It just goes to show that it's never too late to pick up a good life skill. I want to go ahead and get us started so that Denise has plenty of time to share what she's learned as a mind mapping tool. But I want to give you just a quick introduction to Denise, and then I'm going to remove myself from screen, and she's going to do the same, and she's going to start sharing her screen as well. But Denise Kellerman has been in the nonprofit business for over 30 years. She's been a co-founder of a nonprofit that was very unique and one of a kind when she started it. She's also been a board member and executive director. So she's definitely walked a mile in your shoes and knows the different perspectives that you guys are dealing with. She's certified as a master executive business coach. She coaches nonprofit organizations on improving processes, fund and program development. She does a lot of coaching and team building exercises like this one. And she was also very instrumental, like really one of my saving graces. Imagine launching a brand new event, which we did with Giving DuPage Days this year, and relying on the kindness and graciousness of virtual, like a volunteer committee. And Denise was one of our founding committee members, and she brought great ideas to the table and jumped in and ran in with, like, you know, all guns blazing at a time when we were just getting hit with the pandemic. So I don't know how I would have done what I did with that event, what we did and accomplished with that event without her. So I just want to thank her again, but also just turn the floor over to her. Thank you all for joining us this morning. And we'll go ahead and get started. Denise, I'm going to take my video away, and you can feel free to share your screen and take your video away when you're ready, and we'll get started. All yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming today. And again, as Shafali mentioned, it was an overwhelming response. So I am, like we said, a little nervous. Hope we can share some good information that you can have a great takeaway from this experience and learn from it and use it as an opportunity to grow in thought and idea sharing. And it's a way to just really look at opportunities to use your artistic talent. I'm kidding, you don't need to be an artist, but to use your color and your thought and your ideas to really share information with others, with yourself, to keep organized. And we're going to go ahead and start with a little activity before we get started with the PowerPoint. Deep breath. Okay, so I would like you to close your eyes. And when I ask you to imagine this, I want you to think about exactly what you see in your mind. So the first thing I want you to think about, I hope all your eyes are closed because I can't see you. I wish I was with you. I wish we were in a big room and I could be talking with you and checking all your mind maps as you're working on them, but hopefully in a few months we'll be able to do that together. So when your eyes are closed, I want you to envision or look at or think about a strawberry. So when you see the strawberry, I'm assuming you see a strawberry, you don't see it as red, green, seeds, cut up, put together, any of that. You see it as one whole thing because your brain likes pictures and your brain likes to look at things as a whole. Now, if I asked you to separate that strawberry out, you could almost come up with 1,000 words to talk about just that strawberry. So you could say, if you ever heard a picture is worth 1,000 words, that's where that came from. And so you could say something about the strawberry like it's red, it's juicy, it's sour, it's green, it grows up north, you know, it's year-round down south. There's all kinds of things you can do just thinking about a strawberry. So imagine a whole concept of something, or a whole program, or a whole idea, and think about what it would look like if you could see that idea as a whole, as opposed to step one, step two, we're thinking about this and brainstorming, but looking at it as an entire picture, because that's what your brain likes to do. We read from left to right. It's natural. That's what we're trained. That's what we're taught to do so that we can communicate. But our brain doesn't do that. Our brain looks at a whole image. So when you think about vacation, you don't think, if you thought about where you went for vacation and you put yourself there, you're looking at the whole picture. You're looking at the hotel or the lodge or the campsite, and you're looking at the beach or the water or wherever you went. You didn't look at the table, the chair, and you didn't scan left to right. Your mind looked at the whole picture. That's what mind mapping is all about. It's looking at the whole picture. So when you looked at that strawberry, I hope that's what you saw was a strawberry. If you look at, for example, close your eyes again and think about a house or a building. Your home, maybe your building, your apartment, wherever you live, you see it as a whole. You don't see the window and the trim and the doorknob, and you're certainly not looking left to right in your mind at that building. You're seeing it as a whole. So let's get started. I hope that helps kind of give you the idea of what mind mapping is from a perspective. And we'll give you more information with this PowerPoint. Then we'll get into the work, which is really the fun part. Shefali, are you with me?
I am with you, and I'll be monitoring questions in the question box, so folks can feel free to type your questions in there or in the chat area. But the questions is preferred. And Denise, if you just maximize your screen, I think we'll be all good.
Okay, we are maximized right now. Do you see maximized?
I think everyone can see it. Folks, let us know in the chat or in the questions. But I think you guys can see the screen.
Is it maximized for you, Shefali?
We're good. I think we're good on my end.
Great. So mind mapping is a creative way to tell a story. It's all in the mind. And hopefully what you'll see is color and ideas and ways to get that brain working. Your brain is so amazing. Every cell, every thought, everything that's in there, it wants to do more work for you. That's up to you to give it the information. It's not up to your brain. So if your brain says, hey, if you just turn that idea into a picture, I could really remember everything for you. But when you jot it on notes, or think about it but don't comprehend it on paper, or allow your brain to look at it and let it sink in, then you might forget. So mind mapping can be used for notes, planning, sharing, and recall. So that's about notes. Where are your notes? Mine are typically in a note Spiro binder like that one up in the corner. And when I close the Spiro, I use it on the side of my couch so that I could put my coffee on top of it. So that's what my binder is good for. I also have several binders, and I'm not, to be honest with you, very organized. So I have to look for the binder, and once in a while I label it, or else I have a big book with notes everywhere, and I have to go find it. The sticky notes on the bottom, yeah, I've done the sticky notes, probably not as aggressive as that wall is, but I've used them and abused them. It doesn't always help. So what a mind map isn't. It's not just for artists. It's not for just the creative type. It's not going to be displayed at the Art Institute, so you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be worried that you're going to do something wrong, or that your picture is just a stick figure versus a Mona Lisa. It won't be sold at an auction for millions of dollars. I'm sorry about that. It's not hard to do. It isn't just for overachievers. So don't worry about anything. It can't go wrong when you're doing a mind map. So what is a mind map? Mind mapping is a better way to absorb information. It works both the left and right side of the brain. It allows you to visualize the work rather than read it. It uses colors, shapes, words, and lines, and it creates an all-over image. It's easy to share with a team. So oftentimes, if you have an idea, you go into an office, you talk to your coworker, or you're going to talk to somebody about your idea, and you're going and going and going and going, and they're catching maybe 10% of it. But what if you had a plan that had color and lines and pictures? and you said, this is my idea. What do you think? I think it's fun. I think it's a really good way to share information, really good way to work together. So why a mind map? Well, one of the trainings I do is called the 5 whys. And it's really all about asking yourself why. What a mind map does is it helps you say, why do I think about this? Why is this idea important? Why should I do it? And what's going to come out of it when it's done? And is it really my goal, or is there more to it? So why is simply answered in mind maps. It communicates ideas with visual benefits. It provides an overview of the work to be accomplished, details behind the overview, and you can go on and on. You can make a mind map as big as a white wall. It gives you the opportunity to express ideas in color and image, and ability to edit beyond the page. Brains don't just look at 8.5 by 11, and it doesn't just look at an idea on a written sheet of paper. It wants to see the big picture right away so that it can take a picture of it, just like a camera, and store it for you for next time. It's the ability to edit beyond the page, like we mentioned, but you can also look at it as a complete image, not a word or a sentence, just like I said about your brain. And don't forget, it's fun. Mind map versus brainstorming. So I'm sure you've all gone through brainstorming sessions and you've sat down and you've had ideas, and either you walk away with a goal and yes, this is what we're doing, or you walk away with a ton of ideas with no direction. That's brainstorming, really. I often walk away with a ton of ideas. My sister and I have a committee, it's a group, and she's a lean process improvement person too, but both of us have tons of ideas, and you're only allowed in this committee as if all your ideas don't work. And so we have a very distinct committee that looks at ideas, and at the end of the day, it ends up a brainstorming session, and we really can't fulfill it. So you're welcome to join our committee, or feel free to learn how to mind map and be able to get that done right away. A mind map can turn all your intertwined ideas into a highly organized structure and give them more meaning. And again, that brainstorming can be less structured and a harder way. It's just a way to generate ideas and a harder way to accomplish that goal and objective. And I was kidding about not having ideas, but yeah, we do have a lot of fun with ideas that don't get executed. So let's look at the brain. The brain is this is a neuron, and it's a highly excitable brain neuron. If you look at it, once we start doing the mind map, it kind of looks like a mind map. There's a goal in the middle. The middle of that neuron says, what's going on? I want information. And then all those little lines that come out of the neuron is sharing that information, and it needs more, and it needs more, and it needs more. And that's what the mind map does. Your core center of your mind map is your immediate idea. It's the core reason why you're thinking about what you're thinking about. And then all those little spots that come out and all those little lines are, how are you going to do it? What are you going to do? What's it going to look like? How much does it cost? Who's involved? Who's going to benefit from this idea? That is a mind map. And all it's doing is duplicating what a brain does already. I'd like to say, excuse me, this is my brain. Just before it's ready to eat a chocolate sundae with extra whipped cream. So yeah, that would be a picture of my brain. So the next slide after this, I'll just describe it a little bit. I did a team building session with one of my clients. And one of the reasons we did this is because we had a situation where we had a lot of volunteers in this particular organization, almost 100 or more, that come in and out of the door all the time. Every day we have different people. And then we have the administrative staff. The administrative staff, they're doing what they're doing. They're doing all their work, but they're not moving as much as the volunteers are because they're on the floor in operations, and the administrative staff might be at a desk or at a service area. So there was some conflict about why the staff who are at the desk don't get up and help the volunteers who are running around moving, especially when it's short. So nobody really understood what everybody else did. We could see what the volunteers did because it was physical, it was visual. But the volunteers didn't know what the grant writer did, the fund development person, the executive director, the floor manager, all these other people, scheduling, phone answering, didn't know what they did. So we decided we were going to do mind maps on our job descriptions. And then we were going to take those job descriptions and we were going to post them outside of our office doors or outside of our cubicle. Give the name of our job description and let them see exactly what we do every day. And let me tell you, it really impressed people. So let's go to the first one. So this job description is a client resource coordinator. So yes, that person has her own cubicle. She's always at her computer. She's doing things. Sometimes she's up and she's working with the clients as she's doing presentations and helping them with resources. But a lot of times it's back and forth. So take a look at this. She's letting people know what she does. She supports programs. She deals with the food program, case management, empowerment services, healthy eating, and then building up at the top. Now take a look at Director of Operations. Wow, okay. Director of Operations has a ton of work to do. And you know what? Other than, being out and about on meetings, she's often in her office a lot, but a lot of her work is detailed per person that is on that floor. So when you look at the Director of Operations job, wow, she's busy. Not only is she busy, it really helped the executive director see what she does too. It's like, I didn't know that was, that was something you were doing. Because between you and I, oftentimes their job descriptions are just the beginning, right? We go into so much more. We wear so many hats. So it's so important, always important to see what everyone else does. Now this was pretty creative. One of the gentlemen that I worked with, I said he had to do a mind map. So he did a brain. And I thought that was just brilliant. And he was able to look at all the different things that he did. He's a pantry assistant, and he was able to look at all the different activities that he's responsible for. And don't worry about reading all of it, but you can see that he's able now to show everybody what he does. And now you've got your volunteer coordinator. Wow. So she's got to do scheduling. She's got to do the database, shift coverage, all these regular things, and manage volunteers. So, and new volunteer orientations. And so can you understand why maybe some things fall on the side or they don't get done? Well, maybe because she's overwhelmed, or she's got to manage her time more efficiently, or do something creative, streamline her work, or keep going and going. Now this one's pretty interesting. Now you can do a mind map with a computer program, and there's many of them online, and I have a list of a few that you can check out that I like. So this person's the development manager, and she does the grants, the development, the marketing, fundraising, and program. What she noticed, she does a lot of marketing. So it was a great opportunity to talk with the executive director and say, maybe somebody else has to take over that marketing a little bit and help her focus a little bit more on development or grants or fundraising. So these are just ways that we used mind mapping just to talk about job descriptions. There are a million ways. So how to create a mind map? Most importantly, use color. Group your ideas and thoughts by using color. So one idea should be one color, another idea should be another color, so that you use those colors separate and distinct to your idea. So if I were to do something about healthy eating, I might use the green color for my fruits and vegetables. So I'm equating green with natural healthy foods. For vitamins or for other kinds of eating, your lean meats and all that other stuff, you'll use different colors. Don't take sides, embrace both sides of your brain, use both sides of your page. Don't go on one side or the other. Make sure you share it if you can. Share it with a study buddy, or they say, someone you're working with, a coworker. Go deeper. So this is really important to note. Every line, every little node circle on your mind map that's drawn from a line can be its own mind map. And you're going to find that out. So as you're doing this work, you're going to be like, this area I could put right in the middle as the main goal. So you'll see that, and that's what will help you expand it. Nobody's perfect. Do it the way you want. Tidy up later. Break the on-page mentality. Sometimes I'll take an 8.5, 11, and I'll tape it and have it even wider. So if you want to do something like that, you can do it to expand. So let's look at the rules of mind mapping before we get started. You're going to start in the center of a blank page. You're going to turn your page sideways so you have bigger the better. You're going to make a circle in that center, and then you're going to put the main goal of what you want to accomplish in that center. Ideally, it's great to use a picture. So using an image or picture for your central idea is great. If you don't have time, we only have an hour, you could just put the word in. But in the future, I draw a little picture with it. It's more interesting if you use pictures. It keeps you focused and it helps you concentrate. Use color throughout. Colors are great. They add vibrancy and life to your mind map. They add energy to your creative thinking. To remember when, I don't know, you may still do it. I love those coloring books that are really detailed, and you can buy the really nice markers and really get in those tiny lines. And it just really helps you think about what creativity you have and what you're doing. And it actually gives you a little respite from the day. So I use color all the time, and I love those coloring pages even with my grandkids. So we enjoy doing that. So let's make this fun. Connect the second and third level branches. You'll see what I am talking about when we actually do it. And don't forget the brain works by association, so almost by steps. This is the main idea, this is a subcategory, and these are the steps. Make sure everything's linked together, and that will help create structure. 5 and 6, make your lines curves. Don't use straight lines, they're boring. So curve your branches, curve them as if they're a tree, or you see it as that neuron. Use 1 keywords per line. So when you see the lines, you're going to just give yourself 1 word. Each word creates its own connection. So as you write that word has work to do. So it's got to go to the next connection. And it sparks off new ideas and thoughts, and it triggers the effect. Use images throughout. Each image is worth 1,000 words. So when we do our larger mind map today, you won't be able to finish it. We only have the hour, but we'll get started on it. When we're done, if you have time, add those images throughout. And don't forget, each image gives you 1,000 words. So 10 images gives you 1,000 words. You don't have to be that artist. Now, you could cheat and use stickers or cut out images and paste. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you're nervous about wanting something to look really good, you could think about doing it. And most importantly, have fun. So let's get started. This is the last page just to show you how we're going to make a mind map look. This is a very simple mind map. If you notice on this mind map, it obviously says mind mapping in the middle, but the first line that comes out of your center circle is thicker. And it demonstrates that that is the core idea to that branch. That is the most important thing. The lines get thinner as you move out. So let's look at planning. You're going to do planning. Planning is very important to the mind mapping circle. And the way that you're going to plan is you're going to plan your projects, you're going to plan goals, and you're going to plan strategies. You'll have project goals and strategies in your planning. Okay? Let's go down and look at collaboration. Collaboration is the key, right? It's the biggest issue. Now do teamwork, sharing, and work with colleagues. That's the background or the smaller work that needs to be done, the detail. It's all in the detail. So thank you for participating. Let's go ahead and get to work. I'm going to shut off my camera or my screen. That's me. If you want information, Shefali will give this to you. I'm going to close this down and open that up. All right, Shefali, can you see me?
I can see you. I can see you. And I just want to share some feedback. And at this time, if you haven't already grabbed your pieces of paper, definitely do that. Remember, you're turning your pieces of paper sideways, and grab some colored pens or markers or colored pencils or even crayons if you're in touch with your inner child right now. I like a good crayon. I like coloring. And Denise is actually, just so that we can try to make this as interactive as possible, we didn't want to just use PowerPoints. We actually wanted to walk people through a couple of mind mapping exercises. I'm also going to type Denise's cell phone number into the chat box. And the reason I'm doing that is she said, feel free to have people text me their mind map. So if you feel brave and you want to share your mind map that you get started today, feel free to text Denise. She's going to actually show it on her phone and on the screen, so we can try to make this as interactive as possible in a virtual setting. Please know that Denise normally does this in person and loves walking around and seeing mind maps and sharing some tips along the way, but this is the best we could do in a virtual environment. So I'm going to turn it back over to her. Thanks, Denise. Oh, and I wanted to share with you, Denise, Katie said, great example on the job descriptions. Thanks for that. And Kristen shared that she's worked with you and Coach Denise, and she said you rock. So thought you would want to hear that too.
Nice. I appreciate that. Woohoo. Oh, I feel so special. Okay, so let's get started. The first mind map you're going to do is one that's kind of simple, and this one will help us just do a start to finish mind map. It's like the one that I just showed you before we got started. It can be very simple. We're going to do it on a personal goal. So you can choose, let's do our circle first. If you have your paper, put it in the middle. Hope you can see that, okay? There's your personal, that's where your personal goal is going to be. So
we can see it. We're good.
Can you see it? Okay, thank you for, yeah, please interrupt all the time. If you can see or not see, let me know, Shafali. So we're going to do something on a personal goal. So maybe you want to get healthier. What would that look like? Education. Maybe you want to get organized in your home, do a project. Exercise more. How would you do that? I am going to choose, I'm going to choose exercise because with this COVID stuff, I find myself sitting home. I used to go to the gym all the time, and that got stopped for a while, and it took me out of my routine. So now I have to do something different than going to the gym. I'm going to put down exercise. Okay, I just did an 8 instead of an S. Okay, so you can make mistakes. I'm making mistakes all the time. And just to have some fun, I'm going to do some barbells, right? So I'm in exercise mode. The first way I'm going to exercise is I'm going to get outside, okay? That's the natural environment. That's the best place to work. And you're going to color this in. Use your color pencils, whatever you want, fatter markers. Color this in because this is the core idea to that branch, okay? It's the thicker branch. Think about a tree. You've got that thick branch and everything's coming out. And I'm going to say, get outside. And actually, make a little mistake here. I want to do green. So next time I'll do green because it's outside. And outside, I'm going to do what? I'm going to walk my dog. Can you see okay?
Yep, we can see you. We're all good.
I'm going to hike. Okay. And I'm going to ask my girlfriends to do a Saturday walk. So I'll do a team walk. Oh, and one more thing I'll do. I'll walk to Starbucks instead of going by car. I know I'll have to do that. If I commit to doing that, I'll do it every day, right? So
yeah, your Starbucks must be close to your house.
It is close to my house, about 1.5 miles, and I do walk it a lot.
Perfect.
Okay. So the other kind of exercise I want to do, I'm outside. I'll do those things. The other side, I'm going to do inside. So hopefully you guys already have a goal. It would be great if you let Shafali know what is in your center circle. Be kind of fun if you could type that in and maybe call out a few of those.
Yeah, definitely share with me in the chat room, in the chat box, like what your center circle idea is, and then I'll tell Denise what they are.
So now I have to be inside.
Raise your hand.
Now I'm inside and I have to do something inside. So I'm going to do an online. Notice my lines are all squiggly. I'm going to do an online exercise program. I'm just going to go on.
Denise, we have 2 ideas. One said lose 30 pounds, and the other one said worry less, which is what a great one right now.
Wow, and worry less. I'm thinking about that. That's a great one. I love the 30 pounds too. Been there. the worry less is great. And I think things like meditating, doing something for yourself, it's so important to have self-care. And that would be good things to put on yours. So inside, I'm going to organize a program. I'm going to use my weights. Okay. I'm going to do floor exercises. And then the last thing I think I would do is, you know what, I would do play. I'm with my grandkids all the time. So I think sometimes playing is exercise, especially when they make me run up and down the stairs. So I can get a few flights in and lots of steps. So I've got inside.
I'm going to share real quick a few other ideas that came in. So Allison has one of mine, organized, which I think is great. Kate talked about doing self-care. That was a big one for her. She's like, that one's mine. And Anne said more time for more fun. What a great one.
Yes, I love it. So we've got inside and outside, and now I can do another color. And don't forget, I did make a mistake. That outside should have been green here. So we all make mistakes, but it should have been green. Inside is blue. Let's see. Inside and outside and exercise. I don't like that line. It's too fat. Let me fix that. I'm going to take a class. I'm going to take one that is available now. Maybe I'm going to do, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a little bit more detailed. Nope, I can't do it on there, but I can add it to my green. See, now I'm thinking more. Outside, I'm going to do a 5K event. They have those all the time, right? And you do them by yourself and log it. So I just added to that. Inside, I'm going to do yoga. And then I'm going to take the class. So I've not done it, so I have to locate a class. I have to buy the equipment, the yoga mat or an outfit. Okay, and then let's see, ask a friend. I'm going to ask a friend if they want to do it with me. Okay, so I got my friend. She's my yoga buddy. I got my mat. I got my location. Okay. I have now I'm going to add a few pictures here. I'm going to use my weights. I'm going to do just like an iPad here. I'll do another floor mat, a leg lift. That's me, my hands behind my head. And then for play, I'm just going to do stairs. That's what made me think about playing, running up and down the stairs with the kids. Over here, now that I'm adding some pictures, I'm going to walk my dog. I'm really bad with pictures. Do not look at that dog. It's not a dog. So I'm going to walk the dog. I'm just going to make a leash. I'm going to wear my hiking boots. Okay. I'm going to take my team walking with me. Okay. I'm walking to Starbucks, this perfect green color. And I'm going to do that 5K. And for the 5K, I'm going to do a finish line because I am going to do it. Okay. So we could do another line. Does someone want to give a suggestion on another thick line that we could do up on the top? Anybody want to chime in?
I think this looks pretty good, Denise. I like it. I like the yoga. Your Starbucks cup is pretty accurate. and your dog drawing is exactly how I might draw dogs. So I think the leash is a good way out, but this is a good way to visually represent all the ideas. I like it. I also did share your cell phone number with others, so I don't know if you have your cell phone nearby, but definitely see if anyone texted you their photos. And in a few minutes with the next mind mapping exercise, I am going to unmute everyone. So just keep that in mind. I'll be unmuting everyone there shortly so that you can interact with Denise, I guess, a little bit. So.
All right. So I do want to do one more line. Actually, I want to show you how we can expand. So do you remember, we're going to go over here with this 5K event and the finish line. That's my goal, but I don't know where a 5K event is. Okay. So I need to expand. See what I'm doing? So there's my 5K event, but now I have to get a location. I have to pay the fee, and I have to get my t-shirt. So do you guys see how you can expand this all over the wall if you wanted to? You've got a 5K event, that's what you want to do. Your core issue is exercise. You're going to do it outside. These are the things you're going to do, but from those, another line's going to come down and it's going to have to talk more about location. I could go even further with location, and I could look online. I can call a friend who I know does 5Ks. I could online call a friend. I could read about it somewhere, like see a flyer at the Starbucks. So I'll take a Starbucks card.
Hey, Denise, Juanita had a good one for another branch. She said, schedule time. That seemed like a really good one.
Yes, perfect, Juanita, that is fabulous. Okay, we're scheduling time. Oh, I do those silly leaves. It's kind of silly. Okay. Sorry, I'm in your way. This is so hard. I wish you guys were all in a big auditorium with me. So time. Okay. So now I have to look at what kind of time am I putting into this. So now we're going to do a line. We're going to do inside. We're going to do outside. And we're going to do like yoga. We'll do like a location, right? So the time we have to schedule, how much time am I going to put on this inside work? Let's say I do 30 minutes a day. Outside, let's make sure I at least walk 3 times a week. And yoga, I'm going to do 1 time a week. Now, again, we could do more lines, right? Time inside is 30 minutes. And we're going to do it at 8 a.m. Or I'm not going to put myself on a strict schedule because I know I won't do it. And at 5 p.m., just before I start dinner. Outside 3 times a week, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that at, let's see. I'm going to do it on my lunch hour, so 12 p.m. And I'm going to remember to call my friends. Remember, I have to call my friends and make sure that they're okay, schedule that time. So again, you can see, and yoga's 1 time a week, so every Saturday at 10. Okay. Thanks for that idea, that's wonderful. So what do you guys think about this? What do you think, Shefali? Should we add any more?
No, I think this is good. I think this gives the people a good flavor on like a personal goal. And right. I think when they try these concepts and try to follow the rules with a professional, like a work the next exercise that you're going to do. I think
Yeah.
this was a good sort of warm up.
Yep. So I'm going to erase all this. And while I'm erasing, can you guys send Shefali a note on what you think or what you would like a middle main goal, business goal to be? And I'll try to pick that and we'll work on that together. And you guys can go back to your, when we did the invitation, it was about choose something on your to-do list. If you had an idea or a program that you wanted to start. If there's something, let's see what we had. We had ideas. If you had a fundraiser you're doing, a program you're starting, or you need to modify. I have learned that with this COVID situation going on, a lot of programs needed to get modified. Either modified for increased client services because different organizations had an increase, or modified because they couldn't provide the service, like YMCA or places that had, you know, people involved and couldn't provide the safety or security for them. So program modification, I think, is very important.
So Denise, we had one idea. Somebody mentioned the idea of fundraising during COVID. That's what Victor wrote. And then someone else had a question. Cindy is asking, once you complete the mind map, like, how do you stay focused on what still needs to be done?
So remember, your mind map is a large picture, okay? You want to look at it all the time. You want to post it, you want to put it on your wall, you want to be thinking about it. Can you write notes from each activity? Yes. Can you put your to-do list together? Yes. And get back to that writing task? I guess you could, but to me, looking at that as a picture is a way to remind yourself of what needs to be done. And how you get those done now is your action. Those are your action items. Those are your task sheets. That's your to-do list beyond, and it's all broken out beyond the core purpose. Does that make sense?
Sure does.
Go back to the strawberry idea. Okay, that's what this is about. This isn't about getting organized on your mind map as far as, okay, now I'm gonna make that phone call, and you know, you gotta go look up your numbers. You gotta go take a few notes to get that task done. What I want your brain to do, what you want your brain to do, is look at that mind map as an image, just like that strawberry. Just like your house, when I say your picture of your house or a picture of your vacation, you know, that you went on. You want it in front of you as often as you can, and you want to step back and look at it. That's what's going to make the brain say, thank you, I will keep that in mind. No pun intended. So, I did mention something earlier, that you don't have to be an artist. And I also told Shefali, before we get started on this, how are we on time, Shefali?
We're good. We are at 9:45, so I think you can get folks started on the next mind map. And I'm also going to unmute everyone. And Kate did send over a picture of a mind map for you. So at the end, if you could show that off your cell phone, that'd be cool. I think she did send it to you on your cell phone and mine, since you're sharing your screen. But I'm going to unmute everyone as well. If you want to, then after I unmute everyone. You can certainly go ahead and mute yourself if you have a lot of background noise happening on your end. But this is your opportunity on the mind map to go ahead and, you know, go ahead and share any thoughts or be interactive. So I'm unmuting everyone, and I'm also going to, cool.
Isn't that awesome?
We can see it. We can see it. That's awesome. Thank you, Kate. That's great. Self-care.
Okay, let's see what else we have. Ooh, this is a good one. Hold on. I just got to get it open. Exercise. Oh, come on, buddy.
It just changed orientation. There you go. I don't know whose that was, but thank you for sending us exercise. That's awesome. We can see it.
Yay. And that was, let's see, Zuby's.
Oh, thank you, Zuby. We appreciate it. So Denise, I'm gonna, I think I've unmuted everyone.
Okay.
Just go ahead and feel free to keep at it. I think I unmuted everyone anyways. Let's see.
While you're doing that, Shefali, I just want to show something. My granddaughter asked me to, she helped me practice this yesterday. She was so cute. She's like, Nisa, you got to get out of the way and you stand up and sit down. It was kind of fun. Anyway, she is very artistic and I want to show you what she did the other day. Can you see it? I'm sure you
Oh,
can.
wow. Yeah, I think if you bring it closer, yeah, we see colors.
Right.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Okay. So I asked her, I said, this is beautiful. How'd you do it? And she goes, well, I used the blue tape and I made all these pictures and I took the tape off and I said, how did you do those beautiful spots all over? And she said, with your toothbrush. Yeah. So thank you very much, Melanie, for that. Thank goodness I asked her because the toothbrush was back in the bathroom. So she asked me to share it with you. Let me know when you're ready, Shefali, and we'll get started.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Everyone.
Did we decide we're going to do what to do fundraising in lieu of COVID?
Sure, you could do that one, or you can pick anyone. It's fine. That was the one that came in, and that's the main idea that came in that I saw somebody put up.
Hey, if they put it in, let's do it. Okay. So I'm going to do fundraising. I'm going to do dollar signs. And then I'm going to do in lieu of COVID, which is the mask, right?
Yes, good.
Okay, so let's really think about that, guys. What did we have to do to modify our fundraising during COVID? Somebody want to throw a word out there? I know you had to cancel a lot of events.
Well, virtual events, right? Katie put that up.
Okay.
Anita added virtual volunteer training, so that could be a different, like volunteer support can be a different branch.
Love it. Okay, so we have virtual, I'm just gonna, because we're in a time crunch, fundraising, and virtual volunteer training. Okay, so.
Two other branches we had, which might be good. One was more direct mailings. So that's another branch, I think. And then webinars, like learning to do webinars was another, I think another branch. So just technology might be like, might be just in general, getting better with technology is a part of this.
Yeah. What was the one before technology?
The one before technology was doing more direct mailings.
Okay.
Direct mailer appeals.
Okay. Let's see. I need more markers here. Let's see. I'll use this red one.
Green, maybe. There you go.
I can't find, well, I got this green one. I like my other green one. The dog ate it. It's just like my, say. So we've got direct mail, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got those for now. And let's think about what we have to do with that. Let's look at technology and training. First of all, there's times that we probably didn't even use the technology and training resources that we had available to us because we were so used to one-on-one. Okay, so with the technology, I guess I could take this training out of here. Remember, I just made a mistake. I used more than one word. So technology is the fatter line, and then training. And what else do we have to do? Resources. And then how about use?
Yep, using a platform.
Yeah. Like, what are we going to do with it, right? What's the goal of the technology? So training, we might find the online. We might need the funding for it, right?
Yep.
And we might want to make it as a group opportunity. Resources, well, I would probably lose that funding up here, right? And then I'll do site list. Okay. Resources would be funding. Maybe you even need a grant of some sort. Funding from the budget, a grant, and what are the resources? I would say recommendations, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then you got to choose the platform. So now you've got, you know, Zoom, you have GoToMeeting, and whatever other ones you want to use. Okay. So now you've got the mailings. Of course, the first thing you need to do with mailings is figure out where you're going to get your funding to get the mailing done. And it seems like all of this is always going to ask for funding, so you probably could do another line just for funding. How are you funding your fundraising events during COVID? So you could even ask yourself that all by itself. But for the sake of this work, because we're time issue, we're always going to have funding. And then you've got to hit your target audience for mailing, right? Who is it? Is it your current donors or new donors? And then what are you going to mail? You know what? Mail what? So you have to come up with the marketing tool.
I think you also need like envelopes and paper and printer and all of that, right? So some of us are working remotely, and so we have to solve some of those issues when you're working remotely and don't have all the things you have at the office.
Can you say that again, Shefali? Because you kind of went out.
I was saying that you need to have like some of the things you normally have at the office, which is like the paper, the printer, the envelopes.
Yeah. Office supplies. Yep. And then the volunteer training. I think number one is you have to make sure you have your volunteers. Training program. You probably have this in place, but what else do we need for volunteer training? We need staff, right? We need staff in all this. But who's going to? So you can do who, what, where, when, and how for each line if you want to. Or if you remember what I talked about earlier called the 5 whys, I'm going to give this to you because it's awesome. You can use it for everything. Even when your kids come to you and they say, I want a new game, why? Ask 5 times and you'll know why. So the 5 whys, you can ask yourself the 5 whys even up here in your main goal. Why do you need to learn how to fundraise during COVID? Well, because we no longer can provide the fundraising face-to-face. Not allowed. Why? And you can go through that. It's a little more logical about why in this kind of model, but let's say you were doing a new program. Why do you need a new program? Well, I'm going to keep this. But if you were to do a new program, you really need to ask yourself why, because you need to understand if you have the capacity to do it. And that's so important in nonprofit organizations right now, is to understand your capacity and not burn people out. And also make sure that you're not duplicating services that other organizations are doing, because that's another way to burn out. So do what you do well and do a great job at it and increase your capacity to care. And the way to do that is to have healthy staff, healthy team members, and core programs, core things in that circle that mean the most to you right now. Not
So
things
Denise,
that,
I'm gonna jump in. We only have a few minutes left on our time, and I like to respect everyone's time on the closing time. To everyone, feel free to keep typing questions in. I'm gonna share some of the other comments that we have. And also feel free to text Denise. You'll have her contact info after the program, but feel free to text her your mind map even afterwards. She's very interested in seeing what you come up with. We'll take a picture of this mind map that we've started. The work mind maps, the work example that we wanted to give you was just a way to get started. We knew that it's hard to complete when we're not in person and being able to interact in person. So we wanted to give you a starting or jumping off point. Feel free to keep going on the questions. I want to share a couple of things. So mind mapping is really a way to sort of organize your thoughts. It's not supposed to be your full action plan, but it is sort of the whole concept being shared. And people who start using this life hack really swear by it. It's something that's been on my to-do list for a long time, which is why I thought this program was going to be really excellent to share with everyone. We wanted people to have a way to have a tool to organize thoughts and also present thoughts when you have them going on. We got a couple things on branches. People talked about doing email mailings, which instead of direct mailings, or partnering with a mail house vendor of some kind of mail vendor. So you don't have to go back to that, but we can add those. You can add those later, Denise. And then someone also mentioned doing telethons. And then Cindy also thankfully said, and it was great feedback. Thank you, Cindy, for sharing that she has to leave to jump on something else, but this was amazing, and thank you so much. So. And then, you know, if you want to, I want to share our future programs. You'll get that again on an email follow-up afterwards. But just if you want to kind of benchmark some dates, on August 25th, we're going to have a webinar virtual training on the back office cooperative. So it's a resource we want to share with you. And then we are also going to be beginning our NIU Civic Leadership Academy classes on September 3rd. On September 16th, we'll have another virtual training on the Community Reinvestment Act. And then October 20th, we're going to be doing virtual fundraising ideas. So the presenter is going to do virtual fundraising ideas. So, and then September 1st, for any executive directors who are on the call, September 1st will be our first executive director network meeting, which we have not had in many months. So I just wanted you guys to know that. Denise, do you want to talk a little bit more about some of your other programs and services that you offer?
Sure. Thank you, first of all, for coming and for participating with me. Like I said at the beginning, even Shivali mentioned, we wish we could do it with you and be right there and actually spend a lot more time. The groups that I work with, we spend days on working on our mind maps. So my job, I have always felt, is to help you increase your capacity to care and make sure that your staff and your team are married to the goals and objectives of the organization and doing what the mission is for your organization and being excited about it and wanting to get it done. The most important part about capacity to care is to make sure that all your processes are in place. We help with that. We help improve activities within your organization. We use a lot of lean principles to make sure that what you're doing isn't overdoing and you're consistent with your work. And we also work very hard to make sure that what you're doing is what you believe in and what you're passionate about. My job is to work with executive directors, managers, other staff members, even volunteers I've worked with who I can help create the model positions and activities for so that they accomplish their goals. We're available all the time. You have my website. It'll be on the PowerPoint, and Shefali will give you some more information, and I'm happy to offer any kind of services, including one-on-one coaching. So I also do the one-on-one coaching, and I help process ideas and thoughts that come to mind, obviously with great respect for confidence and processing. And I do a lot of processing with people, just helping them process an idea, a problem, a solution. And quite frankly, even with these mind maps, when you do a lot of these mind maps, some of the mind maps will validate that you shouldn't do what you're doing. They're not always there to say, yes, this is what we're doing. They're there to say, should we be doing it?
And Denise, this is a good place for me to jump in. So I put it in the chat, and again, you'll receive it on email afterwards as well. But Denise is providing a special offer to today's participants, only to all of you who are on the call, who are on the webinar today. She is offering 5 hours of coaching at a discounted rate by 50%, $250 savings. So you can book her by the hour at a special rate. So you'll get that information on email. If you have questions, we'll hang around to answer questions, but everyone just said that they really appreciated this exercise. Katie said it sparked a great idea. Thanks so much. She came in halfway through, but she had an amazing, she thought it was a really helpful tool to learn. That was Alex who shared that. So thanks for that feedback from everyone. Thank you for that. And if you have ideas on other virtual training you'd like us to host, feel free to send it to us on email. And Denise and I will stick around for more. Denise and I will stick around for more questions, and we'll keep sharing comments. But thank you so much for joining us this morning. Anita said, great webinar, love the exercises, can't wait to share with my team. Leslie said, thank you, very creative approach. Thanks all. We'll take any questions as well if you want to ask. Everyone is still unmuted, so you can control your mute if you want to just yell your question out too. But we want to respect everyone's time, so if you have to hop off, feel free. It's 1:03 according to my phone.
You should probably want to come on.
What's that?
You should come on. I only see my face.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Come visit.
I've got I've got the chat and the questions up. Hi everybody. I've got the chat and the questions up, so I was looking at those. And so if I look like I'm staring at the screen, it's because I am. I have to pick up all the small text on my screen.
That was really fun. I was nervous because I'm not used to being by myself talking, but
yeah, no, this was great. And my darling friends are so sweet. They're like, such a lovely face. Thank you, Kate. Kate, I love you too. And Linda Carlisle said, hi, Linda. How you doing, honey? This was a great for her. She said she started on one-on-one financial planning, and she's actually going to work on this, and she's great to visualize for her. So thanks, Linda. That's awesome.
Good. Yes.
Folks, keep sharing. So thanks, everybody. Thank you for an interesting way to explore possibilities and organize thoughts. Thanks, everyone. We appreciate the feedback we're getting on this. It's not our usual topic, but we really appreciate it. Any mind mapping websites you could recommend? So Jennifer is asking, are there any mind mapping websites we can recommend? And Denise does have like a couple of mind mapping apps, and so we'll send those with the follow-up after the email, like in our follow-up email after the webinar. So it'll come with all the other links and attachments. That's a great question. Let's see if there's more questions. Maria said, very helpful presentation. Mapping is great. I will definitely use it in organizing my thoughts. Yeah, I thought so too.
The best part about this is I am terrible at coloring and mapping and drawing. So if I can do it and like it, then other people can. I mean, I have seen some beautiful, beautiful artistic mind maps, and I've seen mind maps like mine, and they work just the same. The brain still says thank you. So
that's excellent. Well, and isn't this just like sorry, I'm now hearing my own self on audio back for the background. Isn't this a lot like just anything else? The more you use it, the more helpful it is. Sorry, that's the first time I'm getting that feedback. Sorry about everybody.
I'm not hearing it.
Oh, good.
So that's good. Yes, the more you use it, they also have a thing called the 60-second mind map. And you can get so good at it that when you're sitting in a meeting and someone sparks an idea, you can mind map it right there in 60 seconds and say, here, is this what you're talking about? Or
Wow,
here's
that's
my
great.
idea. Yeah.
Sandy said, Denise, this was terrific. Thank you. And Juanita said, I appreciate new ideas, and this is one I'll be incorporating in all areas of my life. Great presentation. Thanks, Juanita. That's awesome. I don't see any other raised hands, and I don't see any other questions. So we'll give folks another 30 seconds, but otherwise, we'll consider this a good to go.
All right. All right. Sounds wonderful. I enjoyed doing it. It was really fun. And I'll take pictures of this one. It was mentioned the telethons. Do you remember what they mentioned before the telethons?
Somebody mentioned a couple things, email mailings and partnering with like a mail house vendor, like a mailing vendor of some kind.
Yep, and then emailing.
Somebody also had another idea of doing virtual donor lunches.
Wow, that's a neat idea.
Yeah.
Do we still have people online?
We have about 12. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. But if you have questions, you can certainly reach out to Denise directly afterwards when you get her contact info and my follow-up email. And then we'll send a copy of the mind map we just worked on. We'll also send the presentation, and we'll also send Denise's special offer to all of you guys. And thanks for your feedback. We really appreciate it. If you have ideas that you want to have us present, let us know. We have a few awesome programs coming up, which I think folks will really appreciate. So thank you, Denise. As always, I adore you and appreciate your expertise. I'm going to close everything up. Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Be well and be safe.
Yes, be safe. Bye-bye.